Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you had a great day yesterday. Got outside and played for a little bit. It was a beautiful day. We are just going to be taking some notes today. You do not have an assignment today. So if there's anything that you've missed from this week, please use today to catch up on that after we get our notes done. So for today, we are going to label our notes as 225, 21 for February 25th. And we're going to take just a few notes about that North Carolina Constitution that you had the reading passage on Tuesday. So if you haven't finished that reading passage, please do so today. The North Carolina Constitution, it breaks government into three branches. So the next few days, we're going to be learning about these branches. We have the legislative branch, which we're going to talk about today. The executive branch, which we'll talk about tomorrow. And then the judicial branch, which we will talk about on Monday. Okay. With the Constitution as well, it describes some things for us as well so we know who does what. So it describes the powers and duties of each branch. So it tells us who's a part of it and what powers they hold, what they can and can't do. And as a reminder as well, we've had three North Carolina constitutions, one in 1776 when we declared our independence, one in 1868, and then one in 1971. The Constitution from 1971, again, is the one that we still follow today. It has been amended, changed a few times, kind of added to, but overall, that is still the one that we follow today, okay? So those are just a few notes that I wanted to make sure that we had on the the North Carolina Constitution. But again, if you haven't finished that reading passage from Tuesday, please do so today. Moving on down, I'm going to stay on the same page. And we are going to talk today about the legislative branch. Legislative branch of our government. Okay. With the legislative branch, the reason that we're going to talk about them today is because they make the laws. Legislative branch makes the laws. So they put everything into place. With the federal government, so with all of the United States, we call this, the top of the legislative branch, the Congress. So that's part of the federal government. But with North Carolina, it is called the General Assembly, and that's with North Carolina. So the Congress and General Assembly are broken up the same way. They have somebody that's in charge of it, leading the meetings, all that stuff. But they do have different roles to play. No matter if it's the Congress or the General Assembly, we read this on Tuesday about how many senators and representatives there are. So the Congress and the General Assembly are broken up into the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate and the House of Representatives. Now, within Washington, where Congress is, the House and Senate are within the same building. They're on separate sides, which you'll see in your video here in just a minute. We have a song today. And with our Senate, we have 50 senators. And our representatives, there's 120 representatives. So we're not going to rewrite that name again, that word again. So at the Senate, we have senators. With the House of Representatives, we have representatives. So 50 and 120. I know that we read about that in our passage on Tuesday as well. Now, the last thing that we're going to talk about with the legislative branch today is the process of how laws are made, okay, how things become law. And again, it will show you in the song as well how it's done within the federal government, with the Congress in Washington, with everybody in the United States. But we're going to talk specifically about North Carolina and how they become a bill. A bill becomes a law, excuse me. So I'm going to abbreviate some things down here so we don't have to keep writing all these big words over and over again. So we're going to first talk about the General Assembly. And so I'm just going to put GA for General Assembly. The General Assembly write bills, and a bills is a plan for new laws. So they don't just write laws into place. There is a process behind it. So the General Assembly writes the bills. After they write the bills, the Senate and House of Representatives, again just abbreviating, Senate and House of Representatives, discuss and vote on the bills that are presented to them. Last little step, if everyone, including the governor, and we'll talk more about his powers tomorrow, approves a bill, it then can become a law. Now, if the governor by chance does not agree with the bill, he can veto it, which again we'll talk about tomorrow, but basically a veto is saying, I don't agree with this right now, maybe go back and check the wording of the bill, see what we can change to make it sound nicer, maybe help a few more people, and then we can make it a law. So there are times that bills go through, they kind of get kicked back to the Senate and House of Representatives. They can be presented again, but there is a limit as to how many times bills can go and be voted upon. Okay. Alrighty, boys and girls, once you have all of our notes for today, you are welcome to go ahead and enjoy our video of I'm Just a Bill, talking about how a bill becomes a law within the federal government up in Washington, D.C. Alrighty, boys and girls, again, you don't have an assignment today. Please get caught up on everything else, and I will see you tomorrow.